Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Architectural Review Board meeting for November 2nd, 2023, for the town of Eastchester. If you all would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and first off, I believe we have enough here for sure to approve the minutes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes, or does anybody have any questions regarding them? Sorry.
No.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the September 7th, 2023 ARB meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good. Then, first off, oops, sorry, wrong piece of paper. Our first item on the agenda tonight is application 23-20 for 65 Hickory Hill Road. Please come to the podium. Put your drawings on the easel and grab your mic and bring it with you. Oh, yes, okay. One moment, sorry about that. I forgot to do roll call. If you would, just before we get started.
Sure. Enda McIntyre,
Here.
Carlos Garcia-Bo,
Here.
Laura Raffiani,
Here
Jennifer Nemisek,
Here.
Sylvia Luca.
is not
Is not
present
here.
this tonight. Okay, and back to you.
Good evening. I'm Stephanie Malinsky with SM Architecture Studio, presenting on behalf of my clients, the Samayoas. We're proposing an addition at the front of the house. They wanted a contemporary design, so I added some new roof lines with some standing seam metal roof in black. And the facade will be stucco in an off-white color, like this. And that will continue around onto the existing house on the back and the sides. And then at the front, we're introducing a wood-like material for some accents, and that's this Trespa Pura. And then we have black windows and doors.
Alrighty. So then, are you, the complete siding is completely revised, correct?
Right, so the whole front's all new addition, but the sides and the back, yes, we'll remove the existing siding and replace it with stucco.
And I know that you did get did you get a slight variance from the zoning board?
Yes, we got
Okay,
a
Can you
variance.
just explain that, just so
Sure.
that the people at home know? Grab your mic with you, if you would. Right day.
Well, due to this being on a cul-de-sac, it loops around right here, the site, so it's an irregular shaped site. So this corner of the addition right here needed a variance for front yard setback.
Okay. All right, just because of the curve in the road, really?
Yeah, it's just a weird
The
shape.
property. Okay. All righty. So then, in terms of the addition to the property, do you have something that gives us, like kind of where the addition is
Sure.
taking place and where it will affect, like kind of a little more before and after-ish?
Yes.
So on the drawings, you have the demo plan, but, basically the house ends here, and we're adding a living room on this side a garage. This is the line of the addition, and then above the garage is a master suite.
And that all comes towards the front of the home.
Right, so right now it ends here on this side and here on that side.
So, there was no garage on this home previous?
Correct.
And if you could go back to the elevations and just kind of give us a little,
Well, what's this?
yeah, those are a lot more helpful.
So it's a split-level house. On the right side is the new living room space. Here's the main entry with a foyer and mudroom. And on the left side here is the garage with the master suite above. So just some wood accents, kind of tying together here the front, but then the stucco will wrap around the side elevations in the back. There's a small addition in the back here, just to increase the size of those 2 bedrooms.
And then you are using the stucco, so are the windows going to be like more like a masonry set back a little bit
Right.
installation rather than the flat kind
Yes.
of a? Okay. And they're black, and operationally, are they double hung in some places? Is that what?
Yeah, mostly double hung here in the living room. These are fixed, but then on the side, these will be casements so that they can get some natural ventilation in the living room. But otherwise, yeah, these are double hung. Pretty much all of them are double hung. Yeah.
So will they all be new then, the windows? Or are there some of them existing?
There's one existing bay window that they had recently installed on the front of the house that we're actually moving to the back just because they just purchased this window.
Okay.
But otherwise, they're all new.
And
They're not replacing these gliding doors. They just had added those recently as well.
so then are they going to paint that bay window black to match the other windows? Or, because now it's white, right?
Right. We could. I mean, it's kind of tucked in under this new addition that's an overhang in the back, but we could paint that.
I mean, I don't know,
That
just
black.
would think that it would kind
Yeah,
of
makes sense.
make sense, right? We do have that. don't
Just
we,
to
somewhere?
clarify
I don't get paid.
just to clarify the windows, especially in the master bedrooms, are they operable, they're fixed, what are they?
In the master bedroom, those are double hung
Double
windows.
hung
Yeah.
windows? And do
They
you-
have those windows as well as this window, and then there's one on the other side as well.
The rendering.
The rendering. I remember
And the
seeing
living
it,
room
but
windows?
was it just online? that I-
So these are fixed just because of their size, but on the side of the living room,
There
here,
it is.
this window will be casement so that they can get some natural ventilation. So they will have,
Okay.
some that are operable in the living room.
And the standing seam roof, is that a black roof or a dark?
That's
roof?
black. I brought a cut sheet on that if you want to see it.
And, yeah, and if you could bring up the other samples, whatever you have there.
You want to see them?
Yes, please, you can bring them up and then we'll pass them around. So that's the roof. Color, yes, this is the wood. So is this a system that slats in together, kind of? Is that the way that
Yeah,
works?
so it's a ventilated facade solution, so, You'll have your framed wall, and then you'll have studs, and it sits out so you can
Like
get
a
air
rain
behind
shield,
it.
kind
Yeah.
of an idea? It's nice.
Yeah,
It
they wanted the
reminds
wood
me-
look without the maintenance.
Yeah, it's like the Capital One
Yeah.
bank, right? That same kind of a
Yeah.
engineered,
Across from the Chico's up there.
yeah,
That came through years ago.
it did, and it still looks nice, which is good to know, that it held up very well.
Yeah, there's a small reveal between each panel. I think it's 0.3 inches.
So I guess it's is it an existing split-level home
Yes.
currently? And I guess you're turning it into more of a sort of modern, contemporary sort of, it still has somewhat of a traditional look, I think purely because of the roof lines on the side elevations, right? You would agree? But I think that the front is certainly a pretty radical change in terms of how it currently looks. And that was your clients, that's their style, they kind of wanted to go in that direction?
Yes.
Regarding the roof lines and roof pitches on the roof plan, A5, you probably have half a dozen, possibly 8 different, sort of slope directions and roofs per se on the roof plan, like the sort of center hallway area in the middle, is that primarily the the primary roof level to drain the majority of the water off the roof?
So it'll be all the metal roofs will drain on their own, but that has its own EPDM roof drain just for that area. So this roof drains to a downspout, a gutter here and a downspout here, which will go down in the corner. So none of these roofs are draining to this centerpiece, just this centerpiece has its own roof drain here.
But the one on the right drains to the centerpiece, right?
Well, that's gonna go straight to a downspout that's right outside of the front door, so that it
Right,
doesn't.
but that whole standing seam roof, I'm just looking at your roof plan, it's pitching into that sort of central sort of hallway or corridor, which is the sort of center spine roof, right? The narrow one, which is kind of over the front door, right? So the roof to the right pitches to that?
This roof?
Yeah.
Well, how I designed it was that there'd be a downspout just outside the front door, so that this gutter from this roof,
Yes.
will go straight into that downspout, so that water won't go on this roof, this lower roof.
Unless
This
it
EPDM.
overflows the gutter.
Correct. So this roof will just be getting, it'll be getting some of this. This drains onto here.
Are any
but it
of
won't
the
get
gutters
those.
and downspouts indicated on the elevations?
I drew them on, I believe. Oh, you can see a light line here. So here's some downspouts here. That one.
A3.
Here's a downspout on the front here.
Again, you have significant,
Let's say A3.
you have multiple different roofs,
Yeah.
right?
Correct, yes.
And
That's not
I
bad,
think,
no.
it's one thing drawing it and laying it out and designing it the way you said you did. I just would be, I'm questioning the practicality of this rather than the theory of this, because I think
the
it's standing
drainage?
seam, right? So I think you don't have a tremendous slope on a lot of these roofs. I think with the rain that, you know, we've gotten of late, I just think that, you know, that needs to be carefully evaluated because, you know, you're gonna have a lot of water
Sure.
congregating, looking like in this sort of central area of roof. That's all. And I
Sure.
think even with a gutter and an oversight leader, just, you know, hope that that's not gonna be a sort of waterfall effect because, you know, everything's kind of pitching into that slope above the, our valley, right above the,
But this also is sloped.
I understand.
Okay.
But this is sloped, this is sloped.
Yeah.
Again, you know, that's my opinion.
Can you please put up the colored ones again? They seem to be a little bit more helpful.
And in terms of the ridge line, we're not going above the existing ridge line?
No, we're keeping the ridge there. We're not touching the ridge.
And 63 is to the left and 67 is to the right.
I'm just trying to figure out on the elevations, on that corner in the living room, that's the living room, right, with a,
Right here?
yeah. Which elevation shows me that, the other side
The
of
other
that
side?
corner?
Sure, it's elevation C. Oh, should be labeled D. Is this elevation? So this is that side elevation right here. There's a fireplace in between, and then we have the two side windows.
Okay. So I'm seeing the side of the garage there. Is that
Right, and this
Okay.
window's in the master bedroom.
Keep in, and so that corner is what lines up with the angled ones. So the angled ones go up, and then it goes just level on the other side. The ones that,
This
the
roof?
three that angle up,
Mm-hmm.
then on the opposing corner, it just goes level at the top.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
straight across.
That's that. So there's a lot of different ins and outs.
Yeah, it's essentially keeping the existing roofs, but then taking this angled roof and just going into that existing roof. So that existing ridge stays, and the existing roof comes down, and this new roof,
Then-
intersects it.
So everything on, that's shown as white on the elevations, the front, side, and rear, everything white is the stucco, all new stucco?
Correct.
And the wood cladding is the horizontal
Yes.
trespa. Roofs are a combination of the standing seam as well as EDPM, and all the windows are black frames, with the exception of the existing bay window.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have every window will be new with the exception of the white bay window?
Yeah, and those gliding doors that are on their deck on the back. Sliding doors.
What about the windows on the second floor?
Yes, those are going to be replaced.
They're going to be reglazed?
Replaced
Oh, replaced.
with the black windows.
Okay.
Another thing, with the standing seam roof, you will need is the snow guards. Because, speaking from experience, what happens is it'll pile up, and then during the day, when the house warms up, it'll just come flying off and rip the gutters off,
Okay,
essentially.
yeah.
And not only that, but in this case, you'll wind up with a big old pile right in the middle, too,
Right on the sidewalk, right?
in that area.
Oh, yeah.
That's, everything pitches to. And it'll be, a lot of water, a lot of draining, whatever, or puddles or whatever. You definitely need to have those snow guards. Because there's a reason for those.
On your rendering, you show a sloped walkway to the front door.
Yes.
Is there any sort of railing to the side of that? Is there any-
We weren't going to have a railing.
Okay. So that's only like a foot from 0 to,
So the pitch was 1 to 9, so every 9 inches it goes
9
up an inch.
okay.
So, but there is existing stairs there now, right? So you're getting rid of all of that? Is that what's,
Correct.
and just creating a sloped, because it's much longer path.
Yeah, we really
From-
extended it out. My client's mother is in a wheelchair, so she wanted accessibility for her.
Okay,
But yeah, we lengthened it out to make it a shallower slope.
okay. Yeah, and where it starts is a different place than where the, okay. Alrighty, all right. So I'm gonna make a motion to open up the public hearing for application, yada, yada.
23.
23-20.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here who wishes to speak about this application, have any questions about this application? Okay. Any more comments
I'm
from
good.
from the board? Do you have any more comments?
Is there going to be any lighting?
Questions?
Yeah, so in the canopy here, there will be some downlights here, as well as in the, here above the garage door.
So far, just downlighting, no sconces or anything else anywhere?
Yeah, I don't believe so, no. I mean, if anything, maybe we'd add a sconce on either side of the garage door, But right now, we just have downlights in the soffit.
Maybe that pathway needs some
Yeah.
sort of lighting.
And the pathway from the rendering looks very steep.
Yeah, that might not be, completely accurate there.
Yeah, that's kind of why
Yeah, how long is it?
So it's 38 feet,
It's 38 feet.
yeah.
And you want it to be an ADA?
No, it's not an official ADA.
No, it's not, because it's a
No.
private residence, you don't have to.
Correct.
But if the client's dealing with a wheelchair, you may want to reconsider that.
Right, well, it's her mother who will be visiting, so they'll be pushing her, but,
That seems
Talk with
really
them.
steep.
I think that what may help is that this driveway, the way it is now, kind of appears to be pitched like this. So once the garage is there, you're starting at a better
Yeah,
place.
I know, but you can only go 8% for 30 feet.
And do you know what the pitch is for that, or?
I.
so it's 1 and 9.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
So ADA is 1 and 12.
okay.
it just seems too steep, and especially when you think about the water running off and ice, not a great
So
idea.
we actually have it heated for
Oh,
the
you're
ice.
going to have it heated.
Yeah. Situation. But yeah, the renderings aren't as accurate as the elevations as far as the slope of the sidewalk. So if you look at this elevation, it shows the accurate pitch.
Better than stairs.
Is there new air conditioning equipment being proposed, and
We haven't evaluated the existing system yet, so I'm not sure about that.
That needs to be part of it.
For the planning board?
For the planning board,
Okay.
and for us as well, from an aesthetic point of view, because wherever you're going to need to put things is important.
Okay,
In terms of, where you even have room for it, but for sure, you definitely need to have
Okay.
that on the plans.
you want to close the public hearing?
Yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing for application 23-20.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All righty, so, comments that we need to pass along to the planning board? That's what we're all in the,
I have one more
Street? Okay.
comment. You did the landscape plan?
yes,
Okay. Do not use barberry. Do not use barberry.
okay,
Find another gold plant, but don't use barberry.
okay.
at the,
Yeah.
all righty, so, again, back to the adaptations that need to be done for the planning board. One, of course, is the AC units. Please make sure that you know what you're doing by that time, and also that it's indicated on the plans where everything is.
Okay,
Please also indicate the downspouts and all that, where that's all going to go, because it makes a difference as to what it looks like, where those things appear, and it needs to be well thought out.
Lighting.
Lighting, if there are any, especially for the path, that path needs to be lit in some way. And perhaps in the back as well, there needs to be some other lighting, so that, for safety,
Sure.
for sure.
I really would reconsider that pitch. I think it's just too long and too steep.
What else could they do?
You could put a step in there. You could put like you do an ADA ramp, you could put a 5x5 landing. So you break it up right in the middle. It would be better, and you
Make it
could,
two-directional kind of
no,
a
no,
thing?
no, no, one direction with like a landing and go, so it's ramp, it's flat, then it's ramped again.
Okay. So it gives you a pause kind of place?
Yes.
For the,
Yeah,
okay.
and it also, you can make it's a shorter distance, even though you're gonna go above at the 8%.
Would that elongate the,
Total?
yeah, the total length of the ramp?
She said you're doing about 38 feet or 39 feet?
38 feet now, but yeah, if we added a landing and wanted to keep the 1 to 9 pitch, then yeah, we'd have to extend it out.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what you're doing with that. So listen to the girl. Okay, so, there's the, aesthetically speaking, that the windows all be black, not some half white, some, make sure that that's all tied in together, that the roof has the snow guards on it. You can bring a sample of how you're gonna do that to the planning board. Any other comments that we?
No, I think if you just
Okay.
kind of annotate on the elevations, new windows, existing window, existing sliding door at the rear, because I think just adding as part of
Sure.
the planning board review, I think will be more helpful in their sort of quick analysis as to, what this is all about. New finishes throughout on all the exterior. Is the existing deck is remaining, just sort of adding some of the information that
Sure.
might not necessarily be on this submission.
Right. So, then, I'd like to make a motion to pass application 23-20 on to the planning board with a recommendation of approval with those notations to be addressed.
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, there's this, and, okay. And include them when you come to the planning board as well, for sure. The samples, bring them again, yes. Okay. Next up on our agenda this evening is application 23-21, Wilmot Pharmacy at 199 Brook Street. Okay.
Good evening. My name is John Yanacito. I'm an architect, and I'm representing Wilmot Pharmacy, the owners of the subject property. We are proposing the construction of a one-story addition at the rear of an existing one-story structure located at 199 Brook Street, and that is highlighted in yellow on the site plan. I'll just walk over there and the existing property is currently non-conforming, and variances were granted by the zoning board on October 10th for increases to the existing non-conforming conditions. The proposed addition is going to be constructed in a landlocked rear yard where the existing elevation of the current rear yard is lower than the adjacent properties, and the rear yard is separated from the adjacent properties with the existing retaining walls along the right side property line and the rear property line. I'll just come over to the drawings and walk you through the elevations. So here are the proposed elevations. So on the front, we're proposing no changes to the front facade of the building, which is this one here. The side elevations, we have the proposed additions highlighted in yellow on the right side and on the left side. So basically, it's an expansion, a 20-foot expansion of the existing mass of the building towards the rear yard. The proposed basement on the right side will be completely below grade, so you will not see it on the right side. And on the left side, it's partially accessible from the neighboring property. And the basement will be built up on steel columns, so it'll be open underneath at the rear yard. And then at the rear elevation, we have a few openings, a new entry door at the rear and 2 new windows, and then a new staircase down to the rear yard and basement. So here are the photographs of the existing facade showing the existing colors and finishes. So basically on the side elevate, this is the right side elevation, which abuts a municipal parking lot. So the proposed wall finishes will be a brick to match existing, painted to match existing. And that brick will wrap around the entire addition. At the rear, the proposed window and door will be a vinyl clad finish in a white finish to match the existing windows. And the staircase at the rear will be a steel, and both the staircase and the railings will be black. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
So then, in order to enter the basement, do they need to go outside?
No, there's an internal stair also.
Okay,
So the basement does have an internal stair. So currently at the front, there's an existing entry ramp that brings you into the pharmacy. So the whole front area here is the actual pharmacy. There's a staircase here that takes you down to the basement, toilet facilities for the public, and then a couple of exam rooms for vaccines. This is where the pharmacist mixes and counts the pills. This was an older office that was used primarily as an office, but then during COVID, they had to start giving vaccines, so they had to give up these other 2 little offices and start giving vaccines there, and now they're giving flu shots and COVID shots. This became a staff room, so now they need this extra space for some additional office space.
But there is no new basement, there is no basement on the
Nope.
new addition.
Here's the addition, and they'll just be steel columns on some steel structure, concrete slab,
Right,
and then we'll come up with some walls with the brick finish to match existing.
right.
so then the basement will be extended there, or
No.
just,
No.
no?
So
no,
this is
that-
the
Solid
that's-
columns.
this is the existing basement wall right now.
And
That's
it'll
the
end.
exit door, and then these are just all columns underneath, which you will not, on these 2 facades here, there's an existing retaining wall right along the property line here, and then we have about 10 feet from the back of the addition to the retaining wall at the back of the property. And this whole level here is about 8 feet lower than the adjacent properties. And then there's a driveway on this side for the neighboring property that allows access underneath this basement. But it's landlocked, so there's no egress from the backyard of this property.
So that retaining wall that's currently there, if you look at rear elevation 2 on A3, right, the left-hand side, where you have that existing retaining wall on the other property,
I'm trying to see, what retaining wall.
so A3.
Yeah,
Elevation 2 on A3, top
Okay.
right. So that retaining wall on
this,
the,
this is existing.
right, so
there's a-
that is existing in its entirety, that goes right down to grade level?
And then it turns the corner and runs along the back.
Okay,
So this is a municipal parking lot on this side, and then it's a driveway to the adjacent
Okay.
property on this side.
okay. So all you gotta do is just excavate, put in your,
Yeah, so
your,
we built it up on the stilts because we didn't want to undermine that retaining wall. So
Right.
we're just going to make smaller holes
Okay.
and footings and then lift everything up. Because they don't need the basement space. They
Right,
only need
okay.
the space
yeah, I
above.
just, when you're talking about basement, it's really not a basement.
It's not,
an open
yeah.
space, right.
So if you look on A1, along Brook Street, right in front of the store, it looks like on the sidewalk, there's is that still there, one of those?
Yeah, the
Okay.
basement door is still there, yes.
Okay, and is that
They use it just sometimes for deliveries.
deliveries?
But very rarely do they use that.
Okay.
Because they don't get any major, large packages delivered to the
Okay.
pharmacy.
Because I remember looking at that, I'm not seeing any kind of clear picture of that now, but
pretty
I
sure it's-
remember
I'm pretty
looking
sure
at
it's
it when we were reviewing their signs,
Yeah, it's there.
and,
Right, if you look at the photos that I submitted at the front,
Okay.
it's right,
check and see it. But anyway, it was in bad shape at the time, but I don't know, and we asked them to please,
I think it
Make
was
sure-
repaired, because they were
Okay.
getting some water down there, so at some point they
Okay.
did repair.
yeah, it looked like it was a little rusty and whatever, and we weren't sure. So, okay.
No.
Now I'm not seeing exactly really where it
This
is.
is-
It's right next to the front entry ramp.
Right under,
Okay,
by We
in
Deliver.
the shadow.
Yeah, right in the shadow there.
Right
yeah.
underneath
I mean, I
We
can give you the
Deliver.
you wanna see the larger photos?
That's okay, just as long as it's
Is it right under?
safe and, whatever, if it,
Right underneath the Wilmot, if you take
We
Walmart-
Deliver,
Yeah, We Deliver, yeah, absolutely, yeah, right under
Okay.
the We Deliver, yes.
right. So it's like a Bilco door or something like that?
The basement access, yeah.
okay. All righty,
Yeah.
do we,
So I'd like to make a motion that we open up application 23-21 to the public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
aye,
Okay, anybody here would like to speak,
or have any questions
have any
regarding?
questions regarding this application? Now's your chance to speak. Going once, going twice. Okay, seeing nobody's here, I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing on application 23-21.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, public hearing's now closed on this application. Any other sort of fundamental comments that we have regarding this?
No.
Finishes, we talked, right? Like they're going to be consistent with the,
Everything's gonna match existing, yes. So,
okay,
yep, trying to keep it a seamless connection down the sides.
okay.
Good.
Okay, that being the case, if we have anything else, I think it's
No,
pretty
I think we're-
straightforward.
Yep,
So, that being the case, I'd like to make a motion that we approve and pass this application number 23-21 onto the planning board for their further consideration and review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Okay, very good.
Great, thank you.
John.
thank you.
Everyone, enjoy your holiday season.
Yes,
Thank
Won't see you until
likewise.
next year, right?
You don't be enjoying it too much, because you look good. Thank you very much.
Okay, next up tonight, we have application 23-31 for 26 Lakeshore Drive.
My name is Arnold Weil. I'm the architect. And this application does not include any changes in the shape of the building at all. Basically, we're just changing some of the windows and the doors in the house. We're changing the siding, and we're also changing an existing deck that's in the back of the building.
And can you walk us through those changes?
Certainly. On the front of the house, we're changing the entrance because we're making the inside, we're making the entrance much bigger. And over here on this side, we're just making the windows a little bit smaller. It's because we're changing the interior, so it's reflected in the change of the windows. On the back of the house, there are existing large doors, and we're just replacing those doors with a slightly different shape. The deck, which is here, is going to have a wire rail instead of a wooden rail that it has now.
So again, you're kind of just juxtaposing some of the existing windows, not doing anything with regard to the footprint of the home.
No,
And just
that's right.
just upgrading the deck on the back.
Yes,
And the facade of the entire home, all 4, 6 sides, however many sides are on the home, that's all getting a new revamp with all new siding?
Yes.
correct?
Hardy plank?
Yeah, hardy plank,
shingles.
okay.
Hardy shingles? What did you say?
Well, yeah.
Because this looks like,
Horizontal.
Well, that's how they, we could have drawn in the little lines, but these are,
Oh, so
So it
they're
is a
shakes.
shingle.
It's a shake.
yeah, it's a shake, that's right.
And it's a textured shake?
Sorry.
Textured? It's textured, right?
Yes, these only come textured.
Okay.
and
That's
that, is that the color?
Yes.
But right now, it looks like it's almost like a cedar.
There's some rotted boards right now. It's,
It's vertical now?
yeah. Yes, it is.
And where there is brick will stay brick?
I'm sorry.
Where there is brick, will it stay
Yes.
brick as well?
That's correct.
Okay. That's kind of important for us to know.
Of course.
Because right now, if we're looking at your elevation, it doesn't differentiate, you know, the finishes between the existing brick, which looks like it's on the left front, right? You're just looking at the new window and, you know, the hardy plank, it looks like it's all horizontal.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, it's hardy plank shake.
The entire house. Yes.
So we're going over all the existing brick with the new hardy plank?
No, the brick, everything that's masonry is staying, everything that's siding is being completely replaced.
I got you, but that's not what your elevations show. Am I not looking at
Yeah,
that?
on the
Yeah.
far left of the,
The window.
If you look at front elevation on drawing number A1, right? You want to pull that up, right? So right where your
One.
finger is, right?
yes,
So it looks like you have horizontal banding, which looks like it's, where does it say
in the
brick?
section
Am I
of,
missing?
the section that's set back, it looks like you have
New siding.
new siding, but instead it's really brick here,
Because we're looking at your picture.
the photograph.
We shouldn't have to be working this hard, sorry. You know what? Like, this is brick, right?
it'll be siding, and we'll cover that.
Okay,
Sorry, my
So
mistake.
then the brick
problem.
doesn't stay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my mistake.
that's all right. So I guess that's all we would want to clarify on
Of
your
course.
drawings.
Of course.
That if the whole house, like where you do have existing brick chimney, right? So that looks like it's not highlighted, it's existing brick to remain. But if everything else has got this hardy plank clapboard shake siding, then we would just want to understand that
Of
that's
course.
everywhere with the exception of the brick chimney.
Is that particular siding, that style of the siding, is that something that the homeowner is selecting? Because it doesn't really seem like it belongs on that home. That home has more of a mid-century modern feel, and it kind of would look better in the
Yes, with the
the
horizontal.
horizontal.
Yeah, I would.
Either the vertical or the horizontal, but not that kind of a shake. It just doesn't seem to,
Yeah, I should, it just so happens that I'm doing a house in another town with this exact stuff, and I understand what you're saying, you know. Personally, I agree with you, but I think this would look fine. If I didn't, I would have told the people, this is what they really, really want, and I think it's going to look great.
Can we
And
look
when
at
you
it?
look at it compared to what it's now, it'll really look great.
Well,
well, it's an improvement, yes, but I think it could be improved even further with a horizontal, something that fits the home itself better. Can we please look at the sample up close?
Yes, of course.
yeah, I tend to agree.
Thank you.
I mean, this is gonna be like, just like shake.
Yeah. So is this going to read more vertically, or is it, do you have a better image of these pieces in an elevation? Is this going to read more horizontal?
Yeah, it ends up, I'm doing a house right now with that in New Rochelle. It's very horizontal when you look at it.
Okay.
Because you're only
So
gonna see, when
basically
they
all the
overlap them,
pieces-
you're just
Yeah.
gonna see, yeah,
You're only gonna see this part.
yeah.
Still doesn't look right for the home to me.
Yeah.
And I think you're gonna get some awkward things going on around wherever it ends, where the trim is, where the window is,
Yeah.
where the, you're gonna run into all
Yeah.
sorts of strange,
Well, we're going to put, of course, new border around every window.
I understand, but because of those things being somewhat random and where they fall and whatever, you're gonna wind up with those little things like sometimes close to a window
The vertical
trim.
parts?
Yes,
But the impression when you step back is just horizontal.
I know. But you kind of because it's one solid color and it's white, even though it has this texture, it's not gonna be easily read from far away. It's just gonna look like a big white, you know.
It looks like, I wish I would have taken the picture. It looks horizontal. You step back, you lose the verticals completely. It
Right.
just looks horizontal.
Looks horizontal
Yep.
on top. I don't know.
Absolutely.
and what kind of a home is that home, the one in New Rochelle? How would you describe that home?
It's in Bayberry, if you know that area. It's,
I mean, would you call it a colonial? Is it a ranch?
It's
Is
sort
it
of a-
split? I
well,
mean,
it was a one-story, now we made it a two-story. It's
More traditional?
not really a traditional home, but on the other hand, it's not as contemporary as this one, but it's something in between, that's all I you know, it's what they built after the Second World War, and
Leaning more
it's
traditional.
not really that traditional. It's something not as contemporary looking as this, but it's a more contemporary home.
Well, in my humble opinion, I think the existing siding is vertical.
It's gonna look like that.
Right, the existing siding is vertical based on
Yeah.
this. I think that was part of the original design of the home,
Yes.
right? So I think there's something to be said for that. The way you've drawn it here, everything looks like it's your
It's
traditional
straight
hardy plank where it's lineal, horizontal. And I think that certainly reads well on the elevation, right? Either vertical based on how it was originally built, horizontal based how you've shown it. This is contrary to both styles. I think this shake, because it almost resembles like a cedar shake, but it's painted.
Yeah.
I think this is more in keeping with a traditional home.
No, I understand
In my
exactly what you're
opinion.
saying. I should have taken a picture. When you step back, you really.
Like this?
It's, no, that looks like shakes. I mean, it really look,
Oh, that's what that is.
But again,
I know, yeah.
we're just
Is that
looking to
the
try and
manufacturer?
work with,
Yeah.
with
Let's see
what
that.
you're proposing and what you're showing us. So,
Yeah, it looks like a traditional.
yeah, it looks like it's
their
like almost
website?
like a cedar shake,
This is
but
their
it's.
website?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's hard for us to really understand what you're saying. We respect the fact that you're the
This
design
is like-
architect,
No, it's
but what you're showing us looks like it's a painted cedar shake, but it's hardy plank. And it's not truly vertical because it's a shake. And it certainly, it doesn't appear horizontal based on the sample. So it's a little bit betwixt and between. Being honest with you, that's my humble opinion. And you know what they say about opinions, right?
What?
Everybody's got one.
And even they recommend that you use this on Cape Cods and cottage-style homes, or put it in the gable or an accent
Yeah.
top, you know, it's not
So
anywhere near.
I understand that your client has a strong opinion, but I just think that you're mixing apples and oranges with the original style of the home, because it is very contemporary. And this is not necessarily something that I would associate with the look and appearance of this home. That's
And,
my
Can
opinion.
I also bring up, you're showing on your drawing your rear elevation with your new deck of having tension wire railing, is that correct? That's really modern.
Yeah.
And it's
Like-
not gonna look, it's gonna be two different time periods between this and that tension wire.
Yeah, I personally like that stainless steel aircraft cable with the turnbuckles and everything like that. But I think that's a little bit more agreeing with my colleague. That's a little more.
Suppose we just made it horizontal siding and then we don't have to discuss it anymore.
That's fine.
That's fine, but I think as part of, you know, this moving on, which obviously is the objective here, I think you just want to make sure that that's represented to the planning board, and you bring a sample, and it's sort of,
I don't understand. I don't know how none of this works with the planning board. I have to go to the planning board after this?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the step before the planning board. And we look at things from an aesthetic point of view. They look at things from a little bit more of a holistic point of view, where they're concerned about, you know, maybe engineering and systems and other things. in terms of,
nothing structural, we're not doing any additions or anything like that.
We
but,
get it.
but,
We'll do whatever has to be done.
yeah, whatever has to be done,
Okay,
but, but yes, this is for the looks, so.
Okay.
We can't pass it along to them until we aesthetically think that it's gonna be okay.
okay, so let's just make it horizontal siding, and we're all on the same page.
Alrighty,
And do you have any lighting planned for it at all, or are you gonna just,
There'll be a lot of work, interior lighting.
I know, but how about any exterior lighting on the deck or anything at the
Well,
front
there is
entrance?
existing, the
There's
existing
existing?
deck is lit, so we don't plan to change it at this point.
Okay.
are you selecting to make sure that we are all on the same page? Is that what you're checking out?
No.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. So then does anybody know what siding to, I gave you back your phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What siding to make sure that we're all on the same page? What exact style it is that the, like?
Clapboard, it's called.
Okay, and how many inches is that? Do you know how much, what does it?
What's the size of that right there?
Well,
You want to be using something like at least 4 inches, right?
Yeah.
no, approximately 7 inches to the weather,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
all right.
This hardy board, there are a couple of possibilities, but you can do it, between 5 and 7 inches.
Okay, well, make sure you have a sample of that when you go to the planning board, and, that, a picture of, as well, what that looks like installed, not necessarily on that house, but,
Okay.
like an image of what that plank will look like installed. Because I think that home really needs to stay within that. It's like, you can't, like, pick one from column A and one from column B when it comes to a style of a home. You kind of have to go with what the home says.
So what happens now, I'm scheduled at some point to go before the planning board, and assuming they approve it, then I can get a permit after that, is that her?
That's correct, yes. So what'll happen is, the planning board meets, the first weekend of December, the first Thursday of December. So you'd have to get the application in, it's due just before Thanksgiving. So you have to make another application, pay another fee, and then get on the agenda. And then, that would be, I think it's December 7th, I think is the meeting.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
So you're applying everything over the existing siding, correct?
No, we're gonna take off the siding.
Okay.
With this hardy stuff, you really have to do that.
Again, I'm only asking.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, anything else? Do we want to just go through the formality of open the public
Yes.
hearing?
I'd like to make a motion to open application 23-31 for a public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, and is anybody here to give us questions? Obviously not. I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing for application 23-31.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, so I would like to make a motion to pass this application along to the planning board with the recommendation of approval based on the hardy plank siding will be a clapboard siding, not the shake, between 5 and 7 inches, and that you will bring along a sample to the planning board for that, and bring along a photo of what that will look like.
Inclusive of any other sort of trim pieces and cornice pieces, so that, that whole proposition of what you're proposing they have the opportunity to kind of see it in, as one.
The only significant piece of trim is the corner boards.
I got you.
So is that like AZAC or whatever? I mean,
No,
what,
it's actually made
it's
by the
Hart,
same
made by Hart?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it is AZAC. It is, well, I'm just reading out on your drawing. That's what you call it,
Yes.
right.
You know, they make a piece that actually goes up, it's actually a corner piece.
Yeah, it's just composite, right?
Yes.
Composite, AZAC's kind of used the term
like
composite.
saying
but-
Kleenex.
But it's kind of, yeah. Yeah.
All righty, okay, so. we're
And
all
again,
set.
any sort of picture of what you're proposing for the aircraft cable and the turnbuckles, again, it's, a picture tells 1,000 words, so a concise presentation is only going to help your, and your client's cause. Okay? Very good, and again, I'd just like to say what a nice job and see how drawings used to be done and should be done. It's a credit to you and your profession, so good luck, and we wish you the best of luck on this
Thank you.
project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You want to bring back your,
Yeah.
your sample?
I take my card on the planning director. I can help you with the process.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty then, that's the end of the meeting tonight, so I'd like to make a motion to close the ARB meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.